It's outnumber us. Woo. Come on. Yeah.
Let's get it.
Oh, man. It's been a minute. It's been a minute.
Turn it down a little bit so we can hear each other. You all can hear us over the wonderful music that you haven't heard. And we were just saying about 6 weeks. Holy crap. We're behind schedule.
6 weeks.
Oh,
6
man.
weeks.
Man. It's been a minute, dude. It's been a minute. What's going on?
It has been a strong minute. And, I don't know if there's a lot that's changed, though. Has there been a lot that's happening since the last, what?
Since the Chiefs won a
Since
Super
the
Bowl?
Chiefs-
What's happened since the Chiefs won a Super Bowl? Well, a lot's happened, my friend.
A lot has happened.
Yeah. The world we live in today, back when we were all enjoying the Super Bowl 54, is a lot different.
A lot different. And, with everything that's going on right now, and I understand that we're supposed to be practicing social distancing here with the COVID-19.
Yeah.
I can assure you, Brian and I, we have washed our hands. We are nice and clean, and it is going to be okay that we are sitting this close to each other. So
Better be. If I die, I'm never going to speak to you again.
Well, this is a true statement, actually. This is a true statement. I tell you, though, everything that's going on out there, I think that should lead into what we're wearing, and at least for me anyway. We're all out there and got to support our locals, small businesses, what have you. Wearing a shirt from Light the Lamp Brewery in Grays Lake, Illinois. I'm sure that they're probably going to be hurting and feeling the effects here real soon. And also, I am wearing a special hat that I had JJ Heidemann from Bad Ash Barbecue out of Olcott, New York, made me this hat. And I said, you know what, I will definitely be wearing that hat. I'll wear it on the show. So he airbrushed it himself, and I figured I'll do a little shout out to him as well, because I know in the food industry right now, things aren't looking so good with us small-time barbecue people.
Yeah, you know what? That's a great point. Get out there, support your locals, tip your locals well. The chains are still going to be there. You're still going to have your Portillo's and Arby's and McDonald's and all that stuff. Those guys aren't going to shut down. But the mom and pop places, again, as Jay mentioned, the local barbecues, your local breweries, your local Italian steak joints, whatever it may be. Those are the people that we need to really be supporting with the carryouts at this time.
I would agree. Definitely your mom pops. All your chains and stuff are going to be just fine. But maybe not the employees so much, and my heart goes out to those guys who are going to be losing jobs, what have you. But you know what? We're not here to talk about that so much. We are here to take your minds off of what's going on in the world, to give you guys some entertainment for maybe an hour, maybe more. I don't know. Let's see what happens.
We're going to be here until we run out of gas, really.
Yeah, talk some football or run out of beer. I don't know.
Exactly right. Well, we got plenty of beer. There's more upstairs. We're broadcasting from the lovely indoor studios here in Gurnee, Illinois.
Yes, we are.
So welcome to the show. Welcome back. As Jay said, we're here for a little while to take all your minds off of the bullshit that's going on in this world.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what we're drinking here, pal.
Oh, man. I just went nice and easy, and that is with none other than a Labatt Blue Light, because I can't think of any other way to celebrate Season 2, Episode 1 than a beautiful Canadian Pilsner, where the company's headquartered in Buffalo, New York. So, Stefan Diggs, you know what? If you ever watch this, make sure you drink some of these in the off-season. In the off-season, these are good, boy. Yeah. They're gold.
There you go. I myself, I am drinking Lagunitas Super Cluster, because that's kind of what's going on. We kind of got a super clusterfuck out there right now with no sports and no everything. So, again, that's enough of that. Let's get on to talking about a little... how about some football, dude?
Oh, God, I can't wait to talk some football. What are we going to talk about? Where do you want to go? Where do you want to start? We got so much
we do.
that we can get into.
You know what? Between the Super Bowl and now, we talked about this before. The NFL does a fantastic job of staying relevant all year round. And there's been a lot going on. Free agency just opened up. The draft's coming up. The draft's going to look different because of what's going on. We actually threw out on our page a request for questions, a Q&A.
We
we always take them live if you have any way you're watching the show, or we had a few questions that rolled in the last couple of weeks, so why don't we hit those first?
Let's do that, and if you don't mind, I'm going to start in reverse order that we have listed,
okay.
If that's okay. So we had one of our members went ahead and asked us what we thought of the XFL. or actually, at that time they had said, "What do we think of it?"
Yeah.
But since it's now past tense and then the season has shut down completely, views on the XFL. I will say this: I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed the games. I love the in-game interviews.
I liked it a lot,
your kicker misses a kick. Next thing you know, you got a camera and a microphone in your face. I mean, it made it very entertaining, for sure. And the in-quarterback helmet, the in-game quarterback helmet mic and ear set that was in there was just fantastically done. And they kept it going, not even with just the quarterback, but they had the earpieces in for the wide receivers and the running backs as well. So this way, they didn't have to hear the play call from the quarterback. They get to go set up, 25-second clock, way different than the NFL.
Yep.
And they're already set up at the line because they're hearing the plays. Very, very interesting. I kind of like what they did.
That's one thing that I liked was the pace of play. The pace of play, the shorter play clock, and the guys are getting the plays in quicker. I don't necessarily need to hear what the plays are being called. I don't know if the head coaches were a big fan of having their plays broadcasted all over the world when people are scouting. They just have to watch the the ESPN broadcast and learn where all their plays are.
True.
So I'm not a big fan of that, and I don't think the coaches were either. I do like the initial, the instant reactions of, hey, you just fumbled and effed up, and how you feeling? Get the microphone on my face, bro.
Man.
So we got that, but again, pace of play was great. I love the kickoff format. I think the kickoff format was much better, and I think it does help a lot to keep the players safer because that's where a lot of concussions and bad injuries were happening at kickoff. So that was nice to see. Something else I thought was really cool were the extra point rules. Kept it very interesting.
Yes.
Very interesting.
You could be down by 8 points, and you still got a chance. Or actually more than 8. Sorry, 9 points.
Yeah.
And you don't got to worry about a touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
Right.
You get a touchdown and a 3-point conversion, and hell yeah, you just won the game.
Exactly.
Very, very cool. I really liked it. I liked a lot of it. I liked a lot of what was there. And just to touch on, the microphone thing and the interviews, I think you would agree, was it the first game of the year? I don't think you could have it any better when the quarterback went down and he got injured there late in the game. This was against the DC Defenders. God, was it against the Guardians? But anyway, he goes down, and right away, they got the microphone there, and what did he say? He goes, "That fucking hurt."
Yeah.
The trainer comes out, "How you feeling?" "Dude, that fucking hurt." And that's what you heard.
That was kind of cool. That
was awesome.
Yep. I felt bad for the dude, but that's cool. Some things about the XFL too I was thinking about. So we only got a small sample, 5 games. Don't try to be the NFL. Okay, you're not going to be the NFL. The NFL has so much history behind it. It has all the superstars and best athletes in the world playing that game. Be what the NFL needs is a developmental league.
Yeah.
You're not going to go sell out a 60,000 seat stadium. Play in a smaller stadium. Maybe it's a mid-junior college stadium or something like that. I don't know.
18 to 30,000 range.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
is perfect for them.
Right.
God, they were selling out 18, 20,000. I think the most they had was 22,000 at one that was actually sold out. It's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
They did a good job, and you're right about that. Don't overdo it.
Right.
Don't get into that 60,000 venue. You're not going to compete that way. It's not going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen. So again, be what the NFL needs. Don't try to be too big because that's how you're going to go out of business. One of the things I learned too is right now the NFL cannot negotiate with XFL players because their contracts are still considered assets by the league. And last year, I guess the NFL tried to do that with the Alliance of American Football. But they protected it, said, hey, these are still assets. You can't do that yet. So they have to, I think, wait until that official league year expires before any of these guys might get a shot at the NFL.
All right. So originally, with the rules and the stuff that I read up on, the XFL players, their contracts are their contracts for that year.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon, obviously the owner of the league and owns all the teams and everything and owns the players, he would allow them to obviously get out of their contract, but they couldn't do any negotiations, like you said, till after the league year.
Right.
Now, I'm kind of curious how that works this year, seeing as though they did have to cut the league short due to, COVID-19 that's going on. And I'm wondering if he is going to allow some of those players to possibly reach out, or the NFL can reach out to them and see what's going on.
It makes sense. It would make sense.
Cardell Jones.
Cardell Jones.
I mean, he was one that he did actually shine. Yep. Looked halfway decent. I think that was good for him. Maybe coming out of college, look, he got drafted by Buffalo. He really couldn't do a whole heck of a lot. He couldn't grasp the game as fast. I think it showed that in a smaller setting, he was fine. Worked out very well.
Yeah, it did.
And it's a good transition from college to pros. I do believe that.
The quarterback for Houston. So Houston went 5-0 in their short little season that was cut short.
The only team.
And the only team went 5-0, and their quarterback, P.J. Walker. So he has interest from a handful of teams, and I heard the Broncos, Seahawks, and Cardinals have all reached out to his camp to see if they might be able to bring him in. Now, Seahawks and Cardinals, they obviously got Wilson and Kyler Murray, so he'd be brought up as a backup role. Would Denver bring him in to compete with Drew Lock? Don't know. Nothing wrong with a little healthy competition at quarterback. But anyways, he has some interest. He had a brief stint with the Colts for a year or two, I think, and he's still 25 years old out of Temple. So he might be. I think he is the number one target for most teams coming out of the XFL season.
Yeah. So as far as the XFL, hey, I totally enjoyed it. I'm not sure, was that Pete Zito that brought up that question?
Maybe.
It might have been Z. So there's our take on the XFL, and you know what? Hopefully next year they are there again full force. Last I heard, they're supposed to be able to have enough money to run for 3 years. So hopefully that is the case.
Casey.
And
Casey Annis.
Oh, Casey did. Okay.
Yep.
So Casey, hopefully that's still around. I did enjoy it, and I know some people that actually went to the games said they thoroughly enjoyed it. So hopefully it's still there.
Okay, yeah, I hope so too. We actually talked about going this weekend, the 21st. We were hoping to head out to St. Louis. That's close by here.
St. Louis, the Battle Hawks.
Obviously, that's not happening. That's not happening.
Would have been a lot of fun.
There's another question here. What do you want to move on to?
I believe the next one was what? Jets picks, right?
We're going backwards. We're going on the JETS, Jets.
JETS, Jets. I'll let you start that one off.
Okay. So we were asked to talk about the Jets and the upcoming draft.
Yeah.
And just for this moment, we'll talk specifically about what we think the Jets are going to do with the 11th pick here. They have 7 picks overall right now, unless they traded any away today that I don't know about. The biggest needs right now for the Jets are offensive line and wide receiver. They have not really made much noise in free agency in either one of those arenas. And I've been seeing both, really. I've been seeing, I think it's Thomas, the tackle out of Georgia. I've been seeing his name tied to the Jets quite a bit. I see wide receivers. Maybe if Judy from Alabama is there, they go get him. So receiver or tackle, which way do I think they're going to go? Knowing the Jets are probably going to go tackle, I was going to say. I'm going to go tackle. That's what they need. Lots of times as fans, I think they want to see the big offensive stars. Give me the best receiver, give me the best running back, give me the best quarterback. But you need offensive line, right? The game starts in the trenches. You got to win in the trenches to be successful in the other parts of the game. So I'm leaning the Jets are going to go take the best offensive lineman off the board at the 11th pick.
I would totally agree with you on that. I think they have to go offensive lineman. I mean, look, we all saw what happened to the Jets last year with obviously Sam Darnold, and granted he had mono, but when he was playing, really didn't have a lot of time to pass the ball.
Right.
And then they brought in, Trevor Siemian, and Siemian got shellacked.
Yeah.
They brought in that other kid. He got shellacked.
Yeah.
Their offensive line was not very good, and I think it also showed, too, maybe the vulnerability of Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
A little bit. I mean, Pittsburgh's always been known to have very good offensive lines. And, Le'Veon thrived in that. And I think he struggled a little bit more this year. Sure, you could attribute it to a sophomore quarterback, but at the same token, offensive line is key. So I do believe they need to go offensive line. I do like that kid out of Alabama. Will he fall to, number
Willis?
11? Yeah, I like Willis, Jedrick Willis out of Alabama. Is he going to fall to number 11 overall? Kind of hard to say. There is a shot. There's a chance. I don't know if the Jets personally have enough to try to move up into the draft.
They got, let's see. after the first round, then they pick 48, 68, 79. Maybe. I mean, maybe they could package a couple of picks, but I don't know. It's going to be hard to crack that top 10.
Yeah, and I would say, too, I think another thing I'd be looking for with them would be a wide receiver. I do believe they're going to have to go after one. They're not re-signing Robbie Anderson, which...
And he's still hanging out there.
He is still hanging out there as a free agent.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not electing to sign him. Well, he's still out there for a reason. Maybe that's why. I don't know. I think it's a mistake. I think Robbie Anderson was one of their most productive wide receivers of the year. He's got very good speed. He can run the deep patterns very well. So I also think, I mean, granted, we're getting off a little bit, and we're going to get into some of this when we get into the draft talk. This draft is wide receiver heavy.
Thank you. That's
very
what I was
wide
say.
receiver heavy. So do I think the Jets would take a stretch and pick one number one at 11 overall? No. I think they have to stick with maybe a plan of offensive tackle. But could they get a good one round 3? Maybe round 2? I mean, they did get who's the cornerback that they re-signed? Was Poole. They re-signed their cornerback, Brian Poole. So they need a little bit of help there on the corners.
Yeah.
But at the same token, re-signing Brian Poole, I don't think you necessarily have to waste a number 1. Again, 2, 3 could go wide receiver or cornerback in my eyes. So that's kind of where I'm leaning to with the Jets as far as top 3 needs, a cornerback, an offensive lineman, obviously, and a wide receiver, and hell, maybe 2 offensive linemen. I mean,
so you know
I
what?
don't think it can hurt.
If the Jets GM is listening to us, do what we say. Go get an offensive lineman with your 11th pick, and then since there's so many good receivers there, go grab one in the second round. Thank us later when you get third place this year in the AFC East.
Wow, so you are expecting... So let me get this straight.
I pulled third place out of my ass, and as I was thinking about it...
Now I'm thinking of New England and everything that's going on there.
Yeah.
So I already got them number 4. So you already think Miami's going to be better than the Jets?
I think so,
in my eyes.
Yeah, I think so. I think Miami would be better than the Jets. Miami has so many assets right now. I mean, they're sitting on 3 first-round draft picks.
They really are.
They're set up to do well. We can talk about the free agents that they signed so far, but yeah,
I'm
Miami.
sure we'll get into a little bit of that. I mean, and I am honestly, I'm kidding. So all you guys out there who are Patriot fans that want to get on me about hating the Patriots again, look, I don't believe they're going to fall 4th. I don't think they're going to go from 1 to 4 that quickly. I do think that they'll be number 2. Personally, behind Buffalo.
You think the Jets will or Miami?
New England. New England will be number 2.
Okay.
I say New England should be a number 2. And then as far as 3, 4, it's the Jets, it's the Dolphins. You can kind of take your pick.
Yeah.
The Jets on paper, I think, have a little bit better talent than, say, maybe... I don't know if the talent is even the right word. Maybe a cohesiveness.
Is Miami going to write out
possibly.
Fitzmagic?
I don't know what Miami's going to do there. And that's obviously a story for a little bit later here down the road.
Yeah.
But still with the Jets, I mean, the one factor that I don't like with the Jets is Adam Gase.
Right.
And as far as how I feel about the Jets, can he do a proper draft with his GM? Honestly, I don't think he can. I mean, that's just me. And I feel bad for you Jet fans, but I think a lot of you guys would agree Adam Gase didn't bring a lot to the table last year, and really what's he going to bring to the table this year?
I almost made the Adam Gase face.
Googly eyes.
Yeah,
Come on,
exactly.
googly eyes.
What? All right. So anyways, that's our thoughts on the Jets and the Jets draft picks. Let's move on to another question we had regarding the CBA.
Good old CBA.
Unanimous, and of course that has happened since we last checked our mailbag, and it's been approved. And you know what? At the end of the day, it's all about money and the CBA, and I guess the money and everything in there was good enough for the players to extend it for another 10 years.
Another 10 years. A lot of people were all confused. They said, well, wait a minute. I thought it was supposed to be an 11-year deal. Well, what they ended up doing was nullifying the original CBA. So if you count this year coming up, that's the 11th year. I know there are a lot of people wondering what the hell was going on. I thought it was going to go to 2031. No, They took the old one is ripped up, null and void. So this CBA agreement actually now takes care of this season coming up.
Yep.
And goes all the way until 2030. So, which I think is very, very great for the league itself. This doesn't happen too often. I mean, usually the NFL, you guys all know, they get to crunch time and they go through the year, the last league year, and then everybody's on friggin' edge, wondering if we're going to have football the next year. So,
right.
I really commend how it happened. I'm glad the players did this. Although it was nowhere near unanimous and very much 51-49 out of over 2,000 players.
Yeah.
Only 60 votes separated the yays and the nays. And that, to me, blew my mind how close it was. But I'm excited. I'm glad the CBA has been, a new CBA is in the works. And you know what? There's a lot of good things in it. There's a lot of good things in it for both sides.
Oh, there's a lot to talk about there.
Yeah, definitely.
There's 17th game, 17th game, regular season game.
17th game.
Somewhere between 2021 and 2013, so that's not happening this season,
right.
But it could happen very soon. And a couple additional playoff teams, too. So we're going to have another playoff game.
Which I love, and that is actually taking effect this year.
So that happens right away.
2020, it's happening right away.
You're
going to see the extra team in the playoffs now from each division, each conference, and now we've got the one team bye.
Right.
I love it. There's something to play for.
There is.
So I find it very, very interesting, and I honestly can't wait. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of bantering with, the only reason you made it is because they extended the playoffs for you. I'm sure there's going to be some of that with a lot of teams.
I'm sure. But, so this is more football, right? We got 17th game. We got an extra playoff game. Fantasy-wise, so, this is a fantasy football show.
Yes.
More fantasy football. We're going to have
Exactly.
another week of fantasy football. Rather than 13 regular weeks, you should have 14 regular weeks. It's going to be interesting to see how it impacts that. And do you expand your fantasy roster because you have a longer season? Maybe, I think there's going to be an extra bye week. So do you need to add more players on that roster?
Well, with the extra bye week, actually, that's not happening.
Oh, there's no extra bye week.
No,
Okay.
there's no extra
All right.
bye week. That was only going to be if they went to 18 games.
Okay.
What they do have, though, is there is a bye in between the third preseason game and the start of the season. So you're going to have 3 preseason games going on. Then there's going to be a 1-week hiatus, 1-week bye. Then the season will go, and then there'll be a bye week regular, just like it was.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
So, but what I like about it, it's going to impact the fantasy world, and I think you and I may have touched on this during one of our meetings, is where do you go with your championship game? Are you now spreading that out to week 16 instead of, week 15? Are you going to start your playoffs sooner?
It's in week 16 now because we take week 17 off.
Oh, correct. Yeah,
I know.
So, that's right. I know. That's right.
So
My bad. That's
now
right.
there's going to be,
so,
rather than 17, there'll be 18 weeks.
That's right.
So do we have the
week
championship
17?
in week 17?
Yeah.
Although, now that you said, too, to your point, there's going to be more meaningful football later in the season. Maybe a week 18 championship is the thing to do.
And it's possible. I mean, I would personally, I don't want to go that route. But, but no, I mean, I think it's something that fantasy leagues are going to have to discuss.
Right.
Figure out what they want to do. Hell, do fantasy leagues expand their playoffs?
Right.
Maybe they add an extra one and you only have one bye. I mean, hey, there's some things you can talk about here.
You know what?
That things could go a little different. Your league not league champion, but the overall point getter in the whole league, he gets the bye when everybody else in the league can go ahead and fight for. So there's a lot of ways it can go.
Oh, yeah.
And I love the impact of it.
Absolutely.
I really do.
Lots
the
of things
game
to talk.
is huge.
Yes, absolutely. It'll be fun discussing how it's going to impact fantasy football as we, embark on our new season come August. Hopefully everything's back to normal. Yeah.
Done there? You want to keep going in the CBA? I got a bunch more.
Keep going, sure.
All right. So, one of the things, too, is with the players and salaries and how you're going to go with that. So, the players are making out, in my eyes, very, very well. Especially the guys who are not big veterans, the guys who've been in the league 1, 2, 3 years. These guys, if you have less than 1 year experience right now, the league minimum is 5'10", that's going to jump up to $610,000. So that's almost a $100,000 increase for you guys. The other thing too is with veterans, 7 or more years of experience, you're going to be jumping up to $1 million a year versus your $800,000 that you've been making. So that's even pretty cool that they're taking care of the veterans who are going to get ready to retire, who, you know what, they've had very good seasons, maybe like your punters, your long snappers, your long snappers who are getting paid that league minimum. They're going to now be making some pretty decent money. So, and then 10 years or more, $1.48 million is what the scale's going to jump up to for those guys. So, again, I think it's very, very good for those guys. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. As far as market share, with the extra game added, they're going to end up jumping up to, I think, 48.5%.
Something like that, yep.
Which they're coming off of 47%. So they're almost at that 50-50 mark with the owners. And, I mean, there's not... Look, how many companies do you know that you work for where you are profit sharing 50% with the owner of the company? That doesn't happen too often.
No,
so,
not at all. There's a lot of money being thrown around. Another thing, and did this get approved as part of the CBA? The share of the in-stadium gambling.
No.
So that did not happen.
Okay.
But that is something that's going to happen, the in-stadium gambling.
But I also did not go through 400 pages. I did not go through all 400 pages of the CBA.
Why? It's not like you haven't had time. I mean, shit. It's been 6 weeks, Jay.
I highlighted the things that I thought were relevant, and so honestly, I cannot speak on behalf of the gambling. I do remember hearing that. I know you and I had talked about that, but I did not hear about any sharing on that.
So in-stadium gambling apparently is going to be a thing in the NFL, but apparently you're not going to be able to bet on that game, but it's going to be like lounges where people can hang out, fantasy football freaks and fans and what have you can hang out in the lounge and have that experience and see what's going on. It's almost be like a Vegas sports book, but no betting or something like that.
Right.
Without the sports book. So, anyways, that's something that's like happening in the NFL coming soon. Very interesting.
Expanded rosters.
2 players.
Hey, look now they're creating jobs. The NFL is creating jobs with people.
2 more kickers.
Actually, what I thought was interesting so they're expanding the rosters. Active game rosters will now be added by 2 players. So they're going to go from 46 to 48 active game day rosters. But one of those players has to be an offensive lineman.
Right.
I mean, okay. To enforce a rule that out of your 2 players, you have to make one of them an offensive lineman.
How many of those linemen are going to be the ones who are lining up as tackle eligible at the goal line?
Here's how I think they did that, and I think here's the reason why they did that. It's just me spitfiring and thinking in my head. There are more offensive lineman positions in the NFL than there are any other position. So obviously there's more players that are offensive linemen. I think they did that so they would get it passed. I really do.
Maybe.
This way, hey, you offensive linemen are guaranteed an extra spot on game day.
Tricky mother.
But I thought that was good, and also, what is it? The practice squad.
Yeah.
Practice squad's going to go up 2, and also an additional 2.
More jobs. Look at that. The NFL's creating jobs.
Creating more jobs, raising their salaries from $8,000 a week to $11,500 a week by 2022.
Nice.
So even those guys are getting paid a little bit more, and there's some insurance now for the teams, the clubs, that if they bring a practice squad guy up, they can send him back down to the practice squad, and he doesn't have to go through the waiver process, and they can do that up to 2 times. So that's kind of good for some of those guys that you do want to bring up, or you've been hit with injury, and he has a great game and plays his ass off that week. Well, now your other guy's healthy, you want to send him back down, you don't got to worry about somebody taking him.
Exactly
and I think that's really cool to go back down and not have to worry about.
Madden all the time. It pisses me off.
I love it. And I guess what's the other big one is drug policy. Well, Jesus, I got a lot actually.
Drug policy.
There's so much.
We can talk about the CBA.
We can talk
all
about the
day
CBA. I mean, good Lord.
I mean, what else we got to do? We're freaking locked down, bro.
We are locked down. But
hey, John. Hi. Thanks for watching.
Mr. Mangler.
Hope you're enjoying your lockdown.
Mud
and
City,
enjoying
yes.
harassing us here as we try to do our show. No, you can't have the first pick. And I don't know who's on your team, so I can't tell you who'd start on October 11th. And if you're talking about Winston or Jackson, I go Jackson 10 out of 10 times.
Look, I think we all
Winston's
know
colorblind.
We all know John Mangler is probably going to have Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
So if there's a player I can
Brady.
tell you to start October 11th, it's Deshaun Watson.
Exactly right.
How about the drug policy? Drug policy.
You know what? Oh man, you know who's freaking pissed off about the drug policy? Josh Gordon.
I wonder how that works.
It could be retroactive.
You know, I'll tell you else who's pissed about Ricky Williams.
Well,
He's like, they didn't have this shit when I was playing.
Good for Ricky, though. He admitted that. Like, when he quit, he's like, dude, I'd just rather smoke pot. I don't want to play football. Now, Josh Gordon wanted to do both, and the NFL said, no, you can't do both. But now they say it's okay.
Yeah. Obviously, though, not in season. So, from what I heard, they're going to be doing testing. They're going to be doing testing as you get into training camp.
Yeah.
Don't be popping when you're getting into training camp, and if they do pop you as the season goes on, it's going to be frowned upon, but you're also not going to be fined and suspended right away. So that's kind of a good thing as well. I think the biggest thing is going to be on performance-enhancing drugs. That's where they've really taken a step to saying, hey, the steroid thing is fucking done. You got to cut this shit out. And, I mean, if you're caught popping on antibiotics or even substituting a false somebody else's piss when you're doing it, they're suspending you guys 8 games.
Oh, yeah.
8 full, Brian, boom. Half season, actually more than a half.
Big deal.
Half season, you're done.
That's a big deal.
And if you're caught a second time, the year. Done for the year.
Yeah.
So hopefully that does curb the steroid and the antibiotic and the HGH.
I hope
and
it does. I hope it does.
Yep.
All right. Anything else
Commissioner,
we want to talk about?
no!
Shit.
This is actually a good one, and because I don't care about the training camp rules, it doesn't matter. But the
Neither do
commissioner
I.
is no longer the judge and jury when it comes to
This is
disciplines coming out in the NFL.
Unless it's fantasy football, he still is, but go ahead.
Yeah, right? But I think it's really good they're actually going to have a neutral arbitrator when it comes to anything you guys do with personal conduct. Commissioner Goodell is not the guy who's going to say, I'm giving you 6 games. You're done for this. No, they're actually going to have a separate neutral arbitrator come in, look over what happened, and make the decision on what the fine or the suspension should be. So I think that's pretty good as well. Good for the league. And so
I agree.
I could keep going. There's so much to talk about with the new CBA. I really could.
But at the end of the day, it's a good thing. My thought, you've got another football without a work stop, or we've got more football without a work stoppage for at least another 10 years to 2030.
Love it.
So that's fantastic. And again,
years.
more
Count
football.
This year,
that's
years.
true. That's true because it's not officially expired.
That's right.
And you get more football at the end of the day. What's wrong with more football? So
nothing at all. I love it.
Everybody's missing it right now.
Absolutely love it. So, okay, that is mailbag. That is CBA. That is XFL. That's the freaking New Jersey Jets.
We have another question about baseball, and I think we know our question about baseball and COVID-19, and it's affected the whole world. So there's your answer, Pete Zito.
I don't think that one was one to touch on.
I honestly don't know what's going to come back. Anything, really. We don't know. Well, you guys know as much as we do, unfortunately. So it's going to be a minute before we see live sports again.
I got a question.
Yeah.
I do got a question in the sports world, and maybe you guys can help me out. When everything finally, they say, hey, you're allowed to do this, and you're allowed to get back to doing what you're doing, and this is more for NBA, and this is more for the NHL. Those seasons were getting close to being, you know what, they only had a quarter left. Playoffs were coming. What's going to happen there? Because, I mean, signs are pointing to they're not going to allow gatherings and events like that until seriously like June.
I heard the NBA might just come back in June and go right into the playoffs.
Wow, that's what I'm more interested in, to see where those leagues are going to go.
Yep, and hockey, they might have to do the same.
God, that sucks.
All the high school spring sports and everything that are done, and the seniors who lost their seasons. I did hear college, though, they're going to get an extra year of eligibility. I think they already made that decision.
That's kind of good, at least for the kids and stuff. I mean, it does sucks for the seniors. I mean, it
Big
sucks
time.
all the way around for high school seniors, college seniors.
Yep.
Really, really sucks for them. And, it sucks now for Buffalo because obviously they're not going to make the NHL playoffs if that's what happens.
Yeah, Hawks are
I
out
had
as
high
well.
hopes. We might have been 8 games out. I had high hopes.
Yeah,
I think we could have done it.
Yeah, the Hawks weren't. They've already started trading people, and they threw in their
Dude,
another season in the shit can.
God, not that I want to talk about it, but I just got to say one more
It
thing.
was about the Blackhawks. I don't want to hear.
No, but we just had the trade deadline in hockey.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know.
And here these teams are getting
yeah.
ready to make a push. They got
Yep.
rid of players or they
Like,
signed
psych, you're
players.
done playing.
And all of a sudden, yeah, F you, you're done. All right.
Man, you
That's
know
enough
what?
of that talk.
It's enough of that talk. But when sports does come back, if you haven't done it yet, sign up for Monkey Knife Fight. So, guess what? You can't do anything right now, right?
Good segue.
There's nothing going on here right now. There's no sports. There are some sports. Actually, Monkey Knife Fight found a league. They had the Turkish soccer league. That got shut down. Now I think it might be an Australian soccer league. They do have a sport you could bet on if you are dying to get some game action going. So you can get some action on some European or Australian soccer, I believe. And if you have an account with Monkey Knife Fight, here's what you do. Sign up for an account, go to our webpage, find the link, we'll post a new link for you, put in the promo code Tailgaters. They will match dollar for dollar up to $50 on your deposit. They'll give you 50 free bucks to play with once sports come back. In the meantime, while there's no sports, if you have an account, an active account, they are going to put up some games for people to play to win some swag. They're going to give away hats, jerseys, T-shirts, Monkey Knife Fight stuff, rolls of toilet paper, whatever they got laying around. They've already announced this. They said, hey, we're going to have contests for people to win stuff. Why? Because we're here for fun. We know people are bored. So sign up, get in there, help them out, help us out. Sign up for Monkey Knife Fight using the promo code Tailgaters. Again, they'll match $50 up to your first $50. It's free $50, guys and girls.
Heck yeah.
Do it.
Heck yeah. Get on
Do it.
that.
Make
Good
it
segue
happen.
into that. I enjoyed that.
And have some MFK and fun.
MKF and fun.
MKF and fun.
Yeah. As much as you want to say MF and K,
MF and
it's
K.
MKF
MKF and fun.
Have some MKF and fun, man. Come on.
Yeah, do it. Do it.
Some
Make it happen.
I like that. We got to start doing that more. MKF.
Get your account set up, and they will have contests going on. While there's nothing else going on in the world, you'll still be able to play and do a little something.
They do
something.
have some funny bets going on.
They are. Yeah. You still get a little something going on. Okay. Why don't we get into
Draft talk?
talk about the draft? Sure. What the hell?
Wow. Oh, my God. This could probably go on for a while, too.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Somebody traded their first round pick already.
Wait, what?
Yeah, there's been a first round draft pick already traded. And I think that was the Buffalo Bills traded their first round pick.
We did. We traded out of the number 25 spot, I believe it was.
22.
No, come on.
Yep.
Okay. We traded out of our spot, and you know what? Why not? Because you're getting a top 10 wide receiver in the league, drafted in the 4th round. He is a bona fide number 1 all day long. So I have no issues giving away a number 1, a number 5, a number 6, and a 4 for next year for Stephon Diggs. So I'm okay.
So you dig.
I do dig.
You dig.
I do dig.
All right, so
I dig.
he already set himself up for a bet. He said top 10 wide receiver.
Top 10.
Will Stephon Diggs be a top 10 fantasy based on real-time sports scoring?
Ooh.
Will he be a top 10 receiver at the end of next season?
A top 10 fantasy wide receiver.
Yes.
At the end of next year.
Based on RT sports scoring, will he be a top 10 at the end of this 2020 season?
Cha-ching.
Cha-ching. He digs
That's right.
that too.
That's right.
All right, I'm marking that down. I don't know what's going to happen to him. It might be a whipped cream pie again. I don't know.
We have somebody that is taller than 5'6" as a wide receiver. I don't know, but John Brown I think was 5'9".
Is he
we
really?
got somebody taller than 5'9" in our wide receiving core. So Stephon Diggs, I am so excited. And as far as trading away a number 1 pick, I'm all for it because you're getting something extremely good in return, and you already know what the guy can do.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's how I look at it.
And real quick, John Mangler, if you want to bring us food, we'd be happy to take it. But dude, there's a quarantine. We're not allowed to go anywhere, so we don't have any food.
You know what? No, you can hey, they allow you to walk. Doesn't he live in the neighborhood?
He does. Walk over
You
to
can't
backyard.
walk over.
You
It's
walk over to
okay.
backyard, gets us some steaks. We'll be here.
Oh my God.
Medium rare. Actually, the prime rib sounds fantastic. How about you? You like the prime rib?
Jesus, man. Yeah. Yep. All right. Anyway, so let's draft talk.
Draft talk. Other than that, I don't think not much movement from the first round. We talked about Miami having quite a few assets in this draft. They got 3 picks in the first round. They pick at 5, 18, and 26. Excuse me. We also talked about maybe not much other than Fitzpatrick. They really don't have a quarterback.
There we go.
So are they going to get Tua? Are they going to get the kid from Oregon? What do you think?
All right.
Think Miami might go QB at number 5?
We're gonna sit there and we're gonna talk draft. We're gonna talk Miami, and you know what? We all know Miami's quarterback situation. Nothing. I mean, who do they got? You got what? You got Josh Rosen.
They got the beard.
And you got the Amish, which I will say, just to change real quick. God, have you seen Ben Roethlisberger's beard?
Holy shit! Yeah, he's making.
He's making Fitzpatrick.
I wasn't sure if it was Ben Roethlisberger or who's that dude? Brett Kiesel. Remember him?
No, but I was thinking
defensive lineman for Pittsburgh.
Oh yes. Okay.
Yeah,
I loved it.
But anyway, put your damn chin strap on.
But yeah, I mean, what's Miami going to do? What's Miami going to do? They need a lot of offensive help. You look at what they've gotten here going in free agency, and they got a lot of defensive players. Who's their big offensive thing was Jordan Howard. Getting Jordan Howard there as a running back.
Howard, yep. Which I like.
Sure, it was good. What's he going to do? I don't know. I think Miami, bottom line, I don't know what's going to happen next year, obviously, if that's what they're thinking as far as a quarterback goes. I think this year is a good way to get a good quarterback. Miami's had a hard time with that. I mean, they let Ryan Tannehill go, and obviously Tannehill thrived in a better situation, period, which makes me think, how's Miami with their coaching staff?
Yeah.
What do you do there? What does Flores do? Does he want to go for somebody, maybe try to trade up? You've got 3 number ones. Miami has 5 top 56 picks. Whew. They've got, basically, they're picking a player every 10 picks.
Yeah, they are.
That is insane.
That is.
And what are they going to do with them? And that's actually going to lead up to a true-false question. But anyway, what do? Do you want to bundle? Do you want to see if Cincinnati could bite? Is Cincinnati going to bite? Could Cincinnati bite at number 1 and maybe, okay, we're going to take our chances. So they could go get
themselves some Joe Burrow?
So maybe they could get Joe Burrow or Tua. I think Tua, personally, would be a little bit better in Flores' scheme, possibly. But I really don't know what Flores' scheme is. So if you're going to go up and you're going to move up and you're afraid, because
Flores doesn't either.
They're sitting at 5. They're sitting 5 now.
They're sitting at 5. So okay,
move up 4 spots.
Let's take a look at this. So you got Cincinnati. Yeah, they need a QB because Dalton's gone.
Sure.
Washington, they got Haskins, but I heard that Ron Rivera, Riverboat Ron, might not be thrilled with him, so he might grab a QB. Detroit, they still got Stafford, but he's getting up there. Giants, they got Danny Dimes. They're going to take any QB. But so really, they have 3 teams in front of them that could possibly take a quarterback. Now, I don't think it's going to happen that way. I don't think it's going to be QB. I believe somebody's probably going to go get Young from Ohio State, maybe Washington. Ron Rivera's a defensive guy. Maybe that's the way he goes to start off his draft. And Stafford's got a couple more years, so Detroit really doesn't need to get a quarterback right away. They have a lot of needs on that team as well. But maybe I think they stick at 5. And see who falls to them. They get Tua or they get Justin Herbert from Oregon. And either way, they got a pretty solid rookie on their hands.
Yeah. I mean, I could see that happen. I do think they have to definitely take care of their quarterback situation. I mean, they're not going to be able to keep going on. And sure, are they going to maybe reach out to Jameis Winston? Maybe. Yeah, I mean, Jameis Winston.
Somebody's got to.
You would think. I mean, because really, what's out there? Andy Dalton, Flacco, Winston. There's not a whole lot of options out there.
No.
And, I mean, personally, I'd still say you keep friggin' the Amish rifle in there. I say you make a move. Maybe get rid of 2 of your number ones. Try to get up there. And if you want a good guy to friggin' teach Joe Burrow, personally, I think it's Ryan Fitzpatrick.
It's going to be interesting.
And, you know, and while we're on the talk of the draft, and sure, we're talking number 1s, 2s, 3s, Cincinnati, they stay at number 1. They take Joe Burrow. Sure, he's an Ohio kid. You know, this kid is all about Ohio. He's come from Ohio. That's where his roots are in Ohio.
Makes a lot of sense.
It makes sense. But are you going to put him in there right away this year? Like, who's going to be there to help the kid out?
Yeah, I don't have Cincinnati's depth chart in front of me, so I'm not sure who they have.
That's just it. Andy Dalton's obviously going to be gone.
Yeah.
So you got the kid that they put in last year. You really want him to train, to teach this kid? Because I don't see it happening. So
right.
I don't know. And that's where I think maybe getting rid of Andy Dalton, I think, could be a bad thing for Cincinnati.
You know, that's a good point. Even if they signed Dalton to a 1-year deal to stay, but it's too late. I mean, he's not going to do that.
No, he's not.
But they should have kept him around to, teach one of the young guns. But too bad, so sad. But Cincinnati's in a great position. Even if they drop down to 5, again, they can still get, they don't get Burrow, so they can go get Tua or Herbert, and they'd be in good position to build their team, pick up some more picks, because Cincinnati also has a lot of holes.
Cincinnati does have a lot of holes. They do, definitely.
So, so we talked a little bit about Miami, Cincinnati, Washington. Again, we talked about Riverboat Ron a little bit. Again, I think he's going to go defense just as Tui is. That's in his blood.
They need defensive players.
Yeah.
They really do need somebody, especially on the edge.
Right.
And I can definitely
Chase Young's the best guy to get.
Honestly, I think Chase Young is the best player in the entire draft this year. I think he is a game changer.
Yep.
I think he is somebody that's going to come on and just be a stud. He's going to be a stud, and I'm looking forward to seeing him play.
Washington would love that pick. I think that's a fantastic pick for them. Mm-hmm. Detroit's lost a couple offensive linemen in free agency here. Maybe they go offensive line.
Detroit themselves, I think they're in a position to where they could possibly trade. At number 3, right?
Yeah.
Number 3 they're sitting. They need offensive linemen. They need some cornerback help. Maybe some linebacker help. What are you going to really do up front?
Yeah, corner. Slade just went to Philly, but they picked up Trufant.
Well, and they rate Isaiah Simmons from Clemson, linebacker, junior. They're rating him very, very high.
He's a good.
Personally, I don't like that pick. I don't think he should be a top 10. I honestly don't think he's a top 10 player.
Jay doesn't like Clemson. Let's just get that out of the way.
All right. So, yes, I have my things with Clemson and making sure they actually have a good training staff there and strength and conditioning there, because the players do seem to get hurt. But I do believe as a junior coming out and getting ready to be in the NFL and drafted up high, he's going to be a bust. In my eyes, I believe he's going to be a bust. So I truly don't like it. And if there is a team who could trade out of the number 1, obviously Buffalo did, but I think it's Detroit. I really think Detroit could move down, still have a number 1 there, but actually do something. And who knows, maybe even Miami will take that. You don't know, but I think personally the best fit for Detroit, the best fit for Matt Patricia and that organization is to move back in the draft. You're going to be taking an offensive lineman probably, or a cornerback or linebacker in my eyes.
Yep.
I truly believe you can get somebody halfway decent a little bit further down the road. So I would trade out if I was Detroit. That's just me. That's how I feel about them.
Get the hell out of the way, Detroit.
Yeah,
Get the frick out of the way.
Why not? Why not? I mean, again,
drop
sure.
back and go pick Rodrigo Blankenship, the number 1 kicker out of Georgia.
I don't think they'll go that far. I'm not going to put them in that category. But I think Detroit is, I think, one of the players that can make the draft very interesting, especially in the first round.
Yeah.
That's what I feel.
Yeah. Got the Giants up next. Giants are on the clock. New York Giants, again, lots of needs. Don't need running back, don't need a quarterback. They're good there. Wide receiver, possibly. There's some good, again, we talked about how deep we are there. But, they could be the first offensive lineman off the board with the Giants there.
And
they need somebody to protect block.
Offensive lineman. God, I swear we're talking about offensive linemen so damn much. God, obviously they're a big part of the NFL, bro.
Yeah, they are. But we don't have them going yet.
Look it's Danny Dimes. You guys have put in on Danny Dimes,
and you got Barkley.
You got Saquon. Let's do something here with this team. And Danny Dimes, you want to protect that future, right? Obviously, they've moved on from Eli. That was very evident early on. Are they going to continue to do that? I'm sure Danny Dimes is going to be the guy. So I think you got to protect him, and I think you got to get that insurance policy with an offensive lineman. I really do.
Real quick, hats off to Eli, retired officially. So
yep.
Hats off for beating Tom Brady a couple times in the Super Bowl there. So good for Eli.
Hey, I'm so happy.
Yep. But I agree. I think the Giants have to go offensive line and again protect Danny Dimes to give someone that could pave the way for Barkley, who was a hell of a talent. Miami we talked about enough. Number 6 would be the L.A. Chargers.
Oof.
Chargers. So they re-signed Austin Eckler. They lost their quarterback, Phillip Rivers, signed with the Colts. The Chargers, have they signed a free agent quarterback yet?
No, because they are moving forward with Tyrod Taylor.
So
Anthony Lynn, look, I know you got an attachment to Tyrod. You left Buffalo there, and you brought him to San Diego at the time, but then obviously L.A. has you been coach, so you brought him in right away. Look,
maybe Winston ends up in L.A.
I don't know. I honestly don't know what the Chargers are going to do there. But at the same token, I
don't think they know.
I am not a fan of Tyrod Taylor starting for that franchise. I've seen it for 3 years. I know what Tyrod has. Followed him with Baltimore. I know what he has there. He is a great game manager, but I just don't.
Not as good as this one.
No. He's going to protect the football. That's what he's going to do. Okay, he's going to protect the football. He's not going to throw deep. Do you want a wide receiver? No. I think that would be absolutely absurd to get you guys a big wide receiver when you're not going to have a quarterback throw to him. Running back wise, well, you got Eckler there. You got Justin Jackson as a good backup right now.
Yep.
I think that's a really good 1-2 punch. And I don't want to say offensive line. I think they got to go on defense. I think defensively, they might want to put their eggs in a basket with maybe a good corner, or a good edge rusher.
Yeah.
Somebody to complement Bosa. I think that would be huge to help out Bosa and free him up maybe a little bit more. So that's kind of where I think maybe they should go and see what happens with them. But I'm just not a fan of the Chargers personally.
Maybe one of those top 3 quarterbacks that we've been talking about falls to them and they get lucky. Someone who could move up in the draft quarterback-wise, Jordan Love. A lot of people love him. A lot of people love out of Utah State. So maybe they surprise people and take him early. But obviously there's a hole there. Next up in the 7th pick right now, as it stands, is the Carolina Panthers. Panthers recently got themselves a quarterback.
They did.
Cam Newton's on his way out. Maybe Cam could be a Chargers quarterback. I don't know. But
that's one. Yeah, we didn't talk about Cam.
Yeah, so Cam's hanging out there too. But Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater, unfortunately, did not go to my Chicago Bears. I was hoping they'd make that happen. And they got Teddy starting in Carolina this year. They got Christian McCaffrey, so they don't need a running back. Tight end wise, Greg Olson's moved on from Carolina to Seattle.
Yep.
So they could use a tight end, but that's too early to take a tight end, number 7 overall.
No.
And maybe Carolina goes defense because they got a big hole in the middle defense because Luke Kuechly retired. So maybe there's someone who's looking at maybe the best linebacker off the board there at number 7 there. And maybe that's your Isaiah Simmons hole. He's an outside linebacker, so it doesn't necessarily fill Kuechly's spot. Inside linebacker Kenneth Murray from Oklahoma is rated number 1. Don't know if that's too early for him or not. Or maybe they go defensive line. They also lost. They lost one of their linemen to Buffalo, did they not? I believe.
Yes.
The
Hang on. Who was that? Not Addison.
Mario Addison.
Yeah, Addison.
Mario
Addison.
So I'm going defense, either maybe middle linebacker or maybe a defensive line. That's where I see the Panthers going with their first pick in the first round here. How about you?
Sorry, I was. As far as Carolina goes, I think they do have to go linebacker. I really do.
They lost Todd Davis too. Todd Davis followed the Riverboat to Washington.
Luke, losing Todd, huge for those guys.
Yes,
and
big.
Honestly, I like Patrick Queen out of LSU.
Okay.
I really hope that they don't go again. They don't go for Clemson's Isaiah.
Yeah.
Don't keep the homer there. Don't do that. I think Patrick Queen
would be a popular pick.
Would be a very, very good pick for Carolina in this situation. So I think you have to go linebacker here.
Yep.
Regardless, I do believe they're going to go defense, period. Whether they're going to go defensive line, whether they go on the edge, whether they go linebacker, I think that's where they're going. I think it's
front seven. They got to go front seven.
I agree with that wholeheartely. Definitely.
They got some holes in their front seven, and that's where they're going to go. And then Arizona. So Arizona made quite a bit of news this past week, where they pulled off a hell of a trade and got them not only a top 10 receiver, probably a top 3 receiver in football by trading for DeAndre Hopkins. Holy shit. The Cardinals traded David Johnson for DeAndre Hopkins. There's some draft picks involved in there too, but are you freaking kidding me? Wow. Bill O'Brien, what the fuck are you doing? I mean, seriously.
And honestly, I think that's the thing is everybody's jumping on Billy O'Brien right now. And as they should. I mean, I don't know if he's looking to get fired. You know, sometimes these coaches, they make these drastic moves to where they're looking to their job's on the line. His job's on the line.
Jadeveon Clowney and DeAndre Hopkins, and somehow he was not able to pull in a number 1 pick out of either one of those trades. Are you kidding me? Holy shit. Dude, what is wrong with you? DeAndre Hopkins joins Larry Fitzgerald, who's on his last legs, but he's still productive. And Kyler Murray, who had a really good rookie year, he was a top 10 quarterback, and now he gets one of the best receivers in football. Kyler Murray, again, speaking fantasy football-wise, I think his value skyrockets and makes him possibly a top 5 quarterback.
Oh, I think Kyler Murray is going to be huge talk now. I mean,
because he's also a dual threat.
Look, you just added the addition of a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL.
Yeah.
Okay, for what? For a running back who gets hurt, who has been taken in the first round of drafts to get hurt and screw your team over.
Right.
They now have DeAndre Hopkins in there. You got Larry, they re-signing him another year, giving him another year there because Larry wants to continue to play, and he continues to be relevant. I mean, you couldn't ask for more to put some good play. I like what Kingsbury's doing down there.
Oh,
Cliff
absolutely.
is doing a good thing.
Oh, he's going to be having a blast this year, too. I mean, we gave Larry a lot of love a few shows ago.
We did.
I mean, he's really second to Jerry Rice in most major receiving categories. Holy crap. So Kyler Murray is set up for success. Kenyon Drake came out in a big way when he came over there from Miami.
Right? They tagged
Kenyon Drake.
Yeah.
Yep. The offense wise, they got maybe offensive line, but the skills players, Arizona's set pretty well. And I think their secondary is okay too. Again, maybe Arizona goes for a front 7 on defense as well. Maybe.
I think Arizona's got to go front 7.
Yeah.
And if I was Arizona, I think where I'm going is I'm going on the edge. I'd like to get somebody on the outside. Who do I like there on the outside? Jesus, I don't even know.
I mean, we got, there's AJ Espinoza. We haven't talked about him from Iowa. He's a pretty damn good player, and I think he might be a top 10, too.
Could be. Do I even have...
Or maybe they go, they make a play for like Mekhi Beckham, who's a stud offensive tackle from Louisville, so they get someone to protect Murray and all these assets they have on the offensive side of the ball.
I don't think you could go that route. I think you've got sure you got enough money right now invested in your offense with skill positions. Okay,
that's
a given.
Right.
Their offensive line actually, Kyler Murray did a good job last year, and Kenyon Drake did a damn good job last year. So I don't think their offensive line is terrible. I think it's more in the average sense.
Yeah.
I don't think you screw with that. I think defensively, where did they struggle? They struggled holding their opponents to a decent score. And I think you have to go defense. I think edge rusher would be good. You want to get pressure on that quarterback. And in the division that they're in, maybe a cornerback's not out of the question. Maybe you get yourself a good corner. Might as well,
And who's the top corner? The guy from Ohio State, I believe.
Oh, highest rated corner, Jeff Okaday.
Ohio State.
Him, sure. Or you know what? Maybe C.J. Henderson. Out of Florida. Not a bad guy. Had good fucking stats in college. So
yeah, exactly.
CJ could be a good guy to put in that mix.
Could be.
And why not go to Arizona?
Yeah,
coming out of Florida.
It'll be interesting, but I think Arizona, they're definitely on track to improve over their 2019 season. They're set up for success.
Yeah.
Moving on, number 9 pick in the first round, Jacksonville Jaguars.
I got nothing for them.
They've just traded so. I mean, they traded both their top corners. They had 2 really good corners. Jalen Ramsey and AJ Bowie both gone. They got rid of their top 2 corners. Again, they were a pretty good cornerback pair. Who else did they get rid of? They got rid of Nick Foles to the Bears. Fucking Addy, I don't want to talk about that.
I can't wait to talk about that. I am so excited to talk about Nick Foles. I don't know why, and I mean this wholeheartedly. I really, really do. But go ahead, keep going.
I hope he gets. No, never mind. I don't want anybody to get that. But Nick Foles, yeah. So they're riding Gardner Minshew. So they're riding Minshew. They got Leonard Fournette. They got DJ Shark as a wide receiver. Maybe they go offensive line. I think that would make sense for them. I can see them maybe going offense or defensive line secondary. They need somebody in the secondary too. So maybe they're looking for a defensive back. Jacksonville has quite a few holes to fill, that's for sure.
All right, so Jacksonville is a mess. I don't care what anybody says. Jacksonville is a mess. I know firsthand how Doug Marrone is as a coach. If times are tough, he runs. He gets scared. Buffalo had a brand new owner. He elected to run away and not take that 4th-year option and said, screw this, I'm out of here, without giving them a chance. He ran away from the adversity. He got Nick Foles. Tom Coughlin brought in Nick Foles. I tell you what, Nick Foles gets hurt, he goes Gardner Minshew. You know what he did? He ran away from making a tough decision. He got made sure Nick Foles is gone, where we're not going to deal with this because he cannot handle a quarterback controversy. He couldn't handle it in Buffalo. He sure as hell can't handle it in Jacksonville. And this team is going to suffer. To put all your eggs in a basket on Gardner Minshew, to me, is the wrong thing to do.
Who do you like?
I don't agree with it. I think they should have stuck with Nick Foles 100%. I don't agree with that. I think Nick Foles is not getting enough credit. Again, we'll talk about this later, but I don't think Nick Foles is getting enough credit. I think whatever Jacksonville does with their 9th pick, they're going to screw it up. Knowing Doug Marrone, he is probably going defense, guaranteed, when they need more help than just defense. He's going to probably go defense. He'll probably take a big-ass defensive lineman. He won't even take an edge rusher.
That's right, Calais Campbell they got rid of as well.
Yeah, he's not going to take a linebacker. He won't take a stud cornerback. It's not going to happen. He will pick a big-ass defensive lineman, and if he doesn't pick a big-ass defensive lineman, he will pick up an offensive lineman and be irrelevant. Jacksonville is irrelevant in the top 10. I don't care what anybody says. Whoever they pick, irrelevant. That's my take on Jacksonville. Sorry, I went off on a little bit of a tangent, but obviously, I'm not just a Clemson hater. I am a Doug Marrone hater.
I was just going to say, all right, Marry, fuck, kill. Doug Morrell, Sammy Watkins, Tom Brady.
No, I do think that pick 9 is going to be the most irrelevant top 10 pick in the draft, and Jacksonville's going to screw it up. Period. End of story.
Tom Gilmore pointed out that we're not 6 feet apart, and you're right, we're not.
Did he know?
Yeah.
Tom, we actually touched base on that before the show started. So
we didn't shake hands. We did the elbow thing like they recommend.
Look. Here's the thing. We walked in. As soon as we walked in, we left our shoes outside. We took off our coats. We stripped down naked. We washed ourselves just fine and lathered in hand sanitizer. Put the clothes back on.
He sprayed me in Lysol.
We're golden.
I sprayed him in Lysol.
We're golden.
We took the Clorox and all the toilet paper that we hoarded over the last 2 weeks, wiped each other down, and we should be good.
No, yeah, we're definitely fine. We're definitely fine.
Like a fever.
So that's okay. So Jacksonville, that's where I'm at with that. I really think they're going to screw it up, and let's move on to pick 10.
Let's move on to pick 10.
Pick 10. Our last
should we do the top 10?
Top
yeah,
10.
exactly.
We're doing just the top 10 picks.
Right. You got a bonus question with the Jets earlier, so we'll give you the Cleveland Browns. Talk to me about the Browns, Jay. Talk to me, Goose. Talk to me.
All right.
You had some fodder about the Brownies before the show started.
The Cleveland Browns they did not have a first-round pick last year. Okay? So Cleveland did not have a first round. They went to number 2. Okay, get it, whatever, all that stuff that went on. 5 years previous to that. So in 5 years of drafting number 1s, they've had 10 picks in the first round. That's 2 players a year in the first round. Only 4 of them are still on the roster. Now, look, as a first-round pick, especially going back, 5 years?
Yeah.
6 years.
Yeah.
Sorry, 6 years. You go back 6 years, that player should be in his prime. He should be on your team.
Yep.
Nope. So let's go through some of Cleveland's first-round picks.
Where are they at? What are they doing now?
2014, they had 2 of them. Johnny Manziel, where's he? Gone. Lasted 2 years in the
Working
NFL.
at a toilet paper factory.
Justin Gilbert, a defensive back out of Oklahoma State, was actually taken above Johnny Manziel.
I remember the Justin Gilbert.
But 2 years with Cleveland, 1 year with friggin' Pittsburgh.
He's supposed to be
gone. Good. He's done. 2015, guess what? They had 2 of them in 2015. Cameron Irving, offensive lineman, Florida State. He's currently still playing, but he's with Kansas City. He only lasted 2 years in Cleveland.
Got a Super Bowl ring, though.
Yes, he does. Danny Shelton. He was a nose tackle coming out of Washington. What did he do? He had 3 years with Cleveland, gone to New England. 2016.
Yeah, where the hell did he just go? Corey Coleman.
2 years with Cleveland,
Fast little
1 year
dude.
with the Giants. Gone.
He was so fast, he ran himself out of the league.
So here's 16, 15, 14. None of them with the Browns. Nobody lasted more than 3 years. So now you get into 2017. Myles Garrett, sure. Head case, got suspended, had some issues. Okay, we get it. Good player.
Yeah,
good player,
I will
say.
He can play.
Very good talent. Jabril Peppers, where is he?
New Jersey.
He's with the Giants right now, so he's gone. And David Njoku, tight end, was also taken in the first round. He's kind of on the way out. He is still on the roster, so he's one of the 4 still on the roster.
Yep.
But he's on his way out the door with picking up Austin Hooper.
Oh, yeah.
So now that gets you to 2018. Baker Mayfield and Denzel Ward, cornerback out of Ohio State. So 4 players. 4 players out of 10 in the first round.
Wow.
That are still active on that team, and nobody lasted more than 3 years.
No bueno.
Not one of them lasted more than 3 years.
Yeah, it's not very good.
Cleveland, you have a brand new GM.
So how are the Browns going to fuck it up this year?
You got a brand new GM. What are you going to do, Cleveland? And guess what? Not very good. I'm sorry. But in Jacksonville, they're going to be better than Jacksonville with their pick. They will be better than Jacksonville, I think, with their pick.
Interesting. So the Browns pick is going to last longer than the Jaguars pick.
Yes. Yes. I do believe that. And I think where they have to go is safety. And if I had to put a safety on there that I think is going to be solid, I don't know, McKinney maybe? Maybe McKinney out of Alabama as a solid safety. Yeah, Xavier McKinney. I think that's maybe where they're going to go. They'll find a way to screw it up.
Yeah.
He'll probably be more relevant than the turd that friggin' Doug Marrone throws on the team. And we'll go from there. I mean, hell, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't Doug Marrone with Jacksonville the one who drafted the punter not too long ago?
You know, if he's
in like the 4th round?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but...
You know, if he's still there, I don't know if he will be. I like Derek Brown out of Auburn, the defensive tackle. I think that would be a good pick for the Brownies. Other than that,
I know some people got him going offense.
They cornerback. Well, they don't need a corner.
Offensive lineman. I don't know.
They got Ward, and who's on the other side of Ward? Somebody decent, young guy, Greedy Williams from LSU.
Greedy, yeah. Greedy.
So,
they got him.
So they got him.
Didn't they get Greedy last year? Number 2,
they got them last
round,
year.
I think.
Yeah. So,
I think that was their first pick, second round.
Yeah. So I'm not sure about secondary, but maybe a defensive tackle for the Brownies. Mm-hmm. I think Kareem Hunt's going to stick around. Sounds like OBJ and Landry will be back. As you mentioned, just picked up a Hooper. They got Baker.
Well, so. Kareem Hunt's going to stick around because they put a second-round tender on him.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't see a team giving up a second round.
No.
A second-round pick for Kareem Hunt. Granted, could Buffalo maybe do that? I don't think they'll take that risk. Not that he's got a risk with being a head case in a locker room. Not that he's got a risk with drugs. I mean, he had a domestic violence thing. I just don't think they want that baggage when they've taken 3 years to change the culture in Buffalo. I don't think Buffalo's going to do it. But Buffalo still does need to do something, I think, at the running back position. I really, truly believe
they
need
do.
To do something.
There was rumors that they might pick up somebody by the name of Melvin Gordon, and he ended up with the team that's sitting front and center here tonight, this afternoon, the Denver Broncos.
So are we going to move into the free agency part of this now?
Well, you know what?
We're off of the top 10.
We hit the top 10.
Draft.
I said I'm going defensive line with the Brownies, and we'll move on for the draft. Again, as the draft is at the end of April as of right now. So if you have any more questions regarding the draft or what we think, please feel free to hit us up. Mm-hmm. For now, we'll move on. And, sure there might be some more picks traded here and there. Let's move on to free agency, bruh.
Free agency. Has there really been anything happening in the free agency market?
Wait, we skipped over something.
We didn't?
There's a lot. Yeah, we did. I mean, whatever. We'll talk about that later. We'll talk about it later.
I see what you're saying.
We'll move on.
Free agency. Anything happening?
Free agency. What's going on in free agency? Let's talk about there were a lot of free agent quarterbacks this season, and a lot of them found new homes. One of the big names, and actually he was at the top of the list, was Dak Prescott from the Cowboys. Ended up being tagged by the Cowboys, so he isn't going anywhere.
Yep.
Another big name, Drew Brees. He re-signed for 2 years with the Saints. I think it's a great move for the Saints.
Yep.
Brees can still play. And Drew Brees just picked up a pretty damn good slot weapon in the name of Emmanuel Sanders.
Emmanuel Sanders, which I thought was very interesting.
I think that's a great pick. Great compliment to what Michael Thomas can do. And, again, having Drew Brees work with Sanders, I think that skyrockets Sanders. He keeps him very fantasy relevant for 2020 and, helps Brees out a lot as well.
Emmanuel Sanders going into New Orleans, I think was probably one of the better free agent pickups by any team this year. And when you're talking about a team who relied on 3 players, and that was Michael Thomas, Drew Brees, and Alvin Kamara, with a little hint of Jared Cook. But boy, you throw in an Emmanuel Sanders now to complement the awesomeness of Michael Thomas.
Right.
Honestly, I think both their values go up. Well, I shouldn't say that. I think Michael Thomas's value is going to go down a little bit. His stock's going down just a tad. Because I do think now that Drew Brees has a solid number 2 receiver, you're going to see Emmanuel Sanders getting hit a little bit. So Emmanuel Sanders goes from being, a number 1 from Denver to San Fran to a number 2. He's definitely not a number 1.
Oh, no.
And I think he could thrive. I think he's going to thrive very well.
I think it's a great
under
fit.
That offense. I do too.
I saw that. That's a fantastic fit. Another quarterback If we're sticking on the quarterback carousel here for a moment, one of the biggest names that was sitting around out
Nick
there
Foles?
was Tom Brady.
Nick Foles?
Tom Brady is his career in New England is over, which a lot of people thought, and I didn't think he would end up in Tampa Bay.
I did not think Tampa.
So Tom Brady, he joins the long list of great players who are ending their career on a different team. One of the first things I said, it goes like Jordan when he ended with the Wizards. What did he do with the Wizards? He still was he stole Michael Jordan. He averaged over 20 points a game and went to a couple All-Star games because he was Michael Jordan. But he's pretty much irrelevant. The Wizards weren't relevant because they had Jordan.
Nope.
Wayne Gretzky ended his career on the Blues. That really didn't mean anything.
Nope.
Joe Namath, he didn't end on the Jets. I think he ended with the Rams maybe. Joe Montana, he had 2 years with the Chiefs. He did take him to the championship, the AFC championship. Again, you think of Joe Montana, he's a Niner.
Yep.
Anyways, he joins a long list of really good players.
O.J. Simpson.
Or great players.
Honestly,
O.J. Simpson was
O.J.
another one, too.
Simpson
Yeah.
left Buffalo, went to San Francisco.
Yep.
Irrelevant. Irrelevant.
Hockey, Bobby Orr. Bobby Orr, what team you think of? You think of Boston Bruins? You know, the Blackhawks. He's a Bruin. So Brady will always be a Patriot. He's ending with the Buccaneers. What's that mean for Tampa? I don't think it's going to change a lot. He does have some, he's got Mike Evans. He's got Chris Godwin. He has some pretty good weapons there in the passing game. I think Brady has regressed quite a bit. So, I know you're dying. You're fucking chomping at the bit. You're dying to go off on Brady and how much he could.
Okay, here's the thing, and I know I just try to keep it real. I try to keep it real. So everybody that you mentioned right there, right? All these players that you've mentioned who have been great at their position at that time.
Yeah.
And instead of retiring, they went ahead and moved on, right? None of them did anything. They couldn't do anything.
Who won a championship?
And sure, Kansas City and Joe Montana, he did. But you know who you failed to mention?
Who?
Here's who you failed to mention.
What?
And this, to me, is the greatest of all time. And that is Mr. Peyton Manning. Goes from late in his career from Indianapolis, winning a Super Bowl.
Shame on me.
And goes to Denver, and what's he do? He wins a Super Bowl, goes to two of them with them.
50.
Okay? Peyton Manning, to me, is the greatest of all time. Tom Brady, to me, he just sold his legacy to where this greatest of all time GOAT thing is out the window because he is not, mark my words, he will not take Tampa Bay to a Super Bowl. It will not happen. Will he take them to the playoffs? Are they an instant playoff contender? Yes. I 100% agree with that. There is no offensive line there. He's got a great coach in Bruce Arians. I get it. He's got a great mind in Tom Moore. I get it. But you know what?
I get it.
You know what? Bill Belichick is a great mind. Bill Belichick can take a Matt Castle, a Jimmy Garoppolo, and he can still have his team relevant. Could Bruce Arians and Tom Moore do that with Jameis Winston? Not so much. Last time I checked, Tampa Bay didn't have a very, very good offensive line. How is Tom Brady gonna fare with that offensive line? He's gonna lose some time on his passing. Period. He's not going to get rid of. He lost a step last year. It was evident. How was New England's offense last year? And everybody is putting it on their wide receiving core. Everybody puts New England's offensive inept on the wide receiving core. You know what? Peyton Manning made wide receivers.
Yeah, he did.
Brett Favre made wide receivers. Okay? Aaron Rodgers made... Listen, they are extremely, extremely good at making a wide receiver. The elite quarterbacks do that. Joe Montana could have anybody. Steve Young, anybody.
Although Joe Montana had Jerry Rice and
Tom Brady... Sure.
John Taylor.
Tom Brady struggled this year because he lost a step. Philip Dorsett is a good wide receiver. He couldn't. He had Mohamed Sanu. Mohamed Sanu was a good number 2. He couldn't do nothing with him. He was struggling getting the ball to Edelman at times.
Edelman.
Sorry.
He's too busy sleeping with
but
18-year-olds.
I'm telling you right now, Tom Brady is not going to take Tampa Bay to the Super Bowl. So you guys,
I don't think so.
And you know what? Here's my biggest thing that I honestly care about when it comes to Tom Brady and him going to Tampa Bay. Here's my number one thing that I want to know: is it going to be TB12 or is it going to be TB10? Is Chris Godwin going to give up that number 12?
Read this morning he's leaving it up to Brady. He offered it to Brady. He said it's your option. It's there if you want.
And honestly, if I was Chris Godwin, I'd say, you know what? Bullshit. I would call bullshit on that. I would keep that number 12 because Chris Godwin, you're a hell of a wide receiver. You are making a name for that number for you. And honestly, as far as Tom Brady goes, don't care. Make him go back to number 10 when he was with Michigan. That's what I say about that.
I say it's about respect.
I get the respect.
This guy's won 6 Super Bowls.
I get
he wants
it.
the number 12. I'll wear 21. Whatever.
But at the same token,
different.
that's going to be the most relevant thing that happens right now is what jersey is Tom Brady wearing? Because honestly, he is not taking them to the Super Bowl. Sorry to all you Tampa Bay fans that are out there. I just don't see it happening. I don't think the offensive line is there. And I don't think Tampa Bay is going to be able to offensively or defensively stop teams.
Well, defensively, I think they're going to continue to let up a lot of points. I don't think Brady's going to throw 37 interceptions like Winston did.
Hey,
he's not going to do that.
He's not going to do
that.
But
I mean, they still don't have a running back. I mean, they got Ronald Jones, but they don't have a big name running back.
No.
Tampa Bay is picking where? They're picking 14. So maybe they, you know what? When we talked about the top 10, we didn't talk about any running backs coming off the board. So maybe that's what the Buccaneers do there. Maybe that's what they do is go get Dobbins from Ohio State, DeAndre Swift from Georgia, someone like that. That's something they could use to complement their old QB. They need offensive line. So Tampa Bay's got some things.
Look, honestly, what has Tampa Bay done besides Tom Brady in free agency?
I don't think
they have a lot of holes.
Yeah,
they have a lot of holes. What have they done besides Tom Brady? JPP coming off the edge?
Yeah, no, that doesn't do anything for me.
I'm sorry. No. How about Shaquille Barrett? Put the franchise tag on him.
Barrett,
they got him there.
Shaq Barrett's a good player.
Franchise tag.
He's a good player.
Is he going to play? Is he going to be upset? Is he going to be pissed?
Right.
What's he going to do there with Barrett, right? And then you've got Joe Haeg, offensive lineman, signing a 1-year deal. I mean,
what's his face? Isn't Zubby a Buccaneers fan?
No.
Zub's
at Miami. Steve the Sturms.
Oh, Sturms.
Steve Sturms. Steve Sturms.
Where you at? Where you at? When do I hear you chime in on Tampa Bay and what they're going to do? So, I agree. Listen, I don't see Brady, making them a title contender. Mm-mm. He's going to make him better. Yeah, he's going to be better at Winston because he's not going to throw 30 picks. Look, that's the biggest difference. He doesn't have as strong as arm as Winston either, though.
I guess what I'm really upset about is the fact that Tom Brady goes to Tampa Bay. When, in my eyes, personally, I do believe San Diego was, goddamn San Diego.
L.A.
Yes, the Chargers was the better fit for him.
I agree, too.
I believe that was the better fit. There's
Eckler,
more weapon. Yes.
Well, him
and
Eckler would have had
Henry. You got a nice big tight end.
Eckler would have been like
That's what he's looking for.
Eckler would have been like his James White.
He would have
had In fact, Eckler, I think, is going to, moving on, or sidetrack here. Eckler, I think, is going to be ranked down a little bit. He's not going to have Gordon to take away carries to keep his legs fresh, and he doesn't have Rivers. So I don't know. He might have Tyrod Taylor or some rookie. I don't know. Eckler might.
Yeah, and I'll get into that one too in a little bit too. But I just want to finish with the fact that what's been chapping my ass. Is all of these pundit experts that are out there that are all saying Bruce Arians and Tom Moore are masterminds in the NFL. And look at what they've had to work with, whether it's coming from Indianapolis, Arizona, now in Tampa Bay. I am so sick of them sitting here trying to all of a sudden take Tampa Bay and put them as a Super Bowl contender when I think that is completely false and you're not giving any credit. Honestly, you are giving no credit to Bill Belichick and what he did in that organization. If there's one person in New England I do give credit to, I do give credit to Bill Belichick. I truly, truly do, because history has shown what that individual has done through his ranks coming up. I mean, he has shut down some amazing amazing offenses as a defensive coach.
Yep.
He knows the game. He adapts and changes to the evolution of the game. That shows you what he's got going on, and I'm pissed about it. And as far as TB12 goes, he's going to go down in history just like a Michael Jordan. He's going to go down just like a Wayne Gretzky. He's going to go to a team and be irrelevant. Irrelevant. He's there to sell tickets.
To be honest,
he's there to sell tickets.
I mean, they got to beat the Saints. I don't think they're going to beat the Saints out of that division.
No.
And the Falcons, I think, are going to be better. Falcons picked up Todd Gurley. We'll see if he's going to be healthy. They picked up a couple other people.
You got Matt Ryan. You got Drew Brees.
Yep.
Come on. What are you thinking?
Yeah, Matt Ryan, Drew Brees.
Tom Brady.
Exactly right.
Who in the AFC East? And look, this is a knock on my own division, and I understand it. How many quarterbacks has? This is something I'm going to look up. AFC Dolphins, Jets, and Bills gone through in the 20 years that Tom Brady has been a quarterback, and you are now going to a division with eliteness.
Yep.
The only team is Carolina, who just got rid of Cam Newton.
Right, exactly.
But they got Teddy Bridgewater.
But
I'm sorry.
So Tom Brady's now the third best quarterback in that division, in my opinion. I got Breeze, Ryan, Brady. Again, not career, but today, talent. I got Breeze number one for sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Ryan,
I'm not. I guess where I'm
based
scoffing
on today's talent
is Matt Ryan versus Tom Brady. Is where I guess I'm scratching on whether or not Tom could be a number two, and it's based off of Mike Evans and Chris Godwin.
That's true too. So
that's the reason why I'm thinking.
And we got Julio Jones and Ridley. So Ridley's pretty good. Did they pick up somebody else recently in Atlanta?
Yeah,
I know they picked up Gurley, but
Todd Gurley.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be huge. And they
quite a
also
bit.
picked up Hunter Hurst.
Yeah, that's right.
The tight end, Hayden Hurst. Sorry,
Hayden Hurst from Baltimore. Which,
Hayden Hurst.
You know what? He was living in Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews had a hell of a breakout year last year. Hurst was in his shadow all season, so now he's going to be the number. Hooper's gone in Cleveland.
Yep.
He's going to be number one man in Atlanta. So I like me some Hurst as a top. I was going to say 5, but maybe top 8. Top 8 tight end.
He's top 10.
Yeah,
he's top 10. I have to go through some things because I believe
he's a starter in fantasy. I think.
Yeah.
I'd have to look at the whole thing, but I'm leaning towards he could be a starter.
Look, the way I look at tight ends is you got 2 different categories you can put them in. You can put a tight end in a category of your quarterback made you, or you can put him in a category of you're a stud. Gronkowski was a stud. Okay, so Rob Gronkowski, that was a no-brainer. He could have played on any team. He was your stud. Travis Kelce's a stud, right? George Kittle is a stud.
Ertz is a stud, but he's been hurt too much
Austin
lately.
Hooper, I think, is a product of Matt Ryan.
See? Okay.
And that to me, he's going to go to Cleveland. I believe Austin Hooper is completely out of the top 5.
I was going to say.
And I think that's going to be hard.
This leads me to my next question. Who has the better fantasy year, Hayden Hurst or Austin Hooper?
Hayden Hurst or Hooper?
You know what? You think about it.
I'm going, honestly, I'm going Hurst.
So
I think with Matt Ryan as your quarterback, I think you've got to go
Hayden Hurst or Austin Hooper this year. Fantasy football, point per reception league.
You got to go Hayden
Hurst. Who's going to have the better season? In fact, maybe we'll have a little prize for y'all.
Don't you want to put? Don't you want to put?
What?
Jimmy Graham in that conversation?
What the fuck's wrong with this guy?
Hey, it could be the 1, 2, 3, 4.
Keep bringing up
number 5.
Keep bringing up the shitty free agent signings of the Chicago Bears. Where in our agenda does it say we're going to talk about their Bears free agents? Nowhere.
I can't help it.
It does say free agents, but okay.
Let's
stay on the QB train. We talked about Brady and that shit enough. Next QB, free agent QB that signed.
Damn it. All right, come on.
He wasn't a free agent. He was traded. Phillip Rivers signed with the Colts on a 1-year deal for $25 million. So Phillip Rivers going to the Colts. Are they a contender now because they add Phillip? I think they're better. I think he's a better QB than Jacoby Brissett. He's going to put him over the top.
This is how I look at the Phillip Rivers thing. I think Phillip Rivers went to a place where he knows he's got a good offensive line, where he knows he's going to a team that
Which is
prides
smart for an
themselves
old
on
quarterback.
offensive line.
That's smart for an old quarterback.
Exactly. I think he is extremely happy.
Yep.
I think watch out for Indianapolis. And I think Frank Reich, as the coach there, is gonna have that team ready to go. He's got some good weapons. I mean, come on. T.Y. Hilton, I love it. I think this is going to be really good for Indianapolis. Here's a good stat that I'll give you. Who's going to have the better fantasy stat? Tom Brady or Phillip Rivers?
Ooh, I like that one.
Who's going to have
We
the
need to write
better
this shit
fantasy
down.
stat? Tom Brady or Phillip Rivers? You got two quarterbacks who have been in the league for a while, and they're both moving teams. I'm sorry, but I like what Phillip Rivers has versus Tom Brady. I do. It's hard to say. I know
like
the
Brady's
weapons.
assets because of Evans and Godwin.
Here's the thing. Jameis Winston, as much as the credit he did not get in Tampa Bay, Jameis Winston was a baller that threw the ball. And he didn't care about how many interceptions he was going to get. He slung the ball. Tom Brady doesn't take that many chances. He doesn't take those chances like that downfield.
Yep.
And he is a methodical quarterback. And I'm telling you, Jameis Winston, he just threw the ball up, and guess what? He knew he had two wide receivers that are going to go after it and get it. Tom Brady's not there. In his prime, Tom Brady was there with Randy Moss. In his prime, he could throw the ball up and know Randy Moss was going to get it. He can't do that.
You know what here's what I'm thinking.
I like
so as we grow our show. Last year was our first season, and season 2. The NFL season kicked off on the 18th, a couple days ago.
Yep.
We kicked off season 2 of our show.
Yep.
Jay and I are coming up with all these. Hey, who's going to be better questions? We're going to set up some contests for y'all. We're going to have some TD's Beers and Tailgates swag coming up. So when we have our swag,
so we get people back to work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when people can actually make shit for us, we'll find something. Don't worry about it. We got some connections. Anyways, we're gonna have some hats, t-shirts, and all that. We're gonna have some TD's Beers and Tailgate swag. We're gonna have some contests going on. We're gonna set up some fantasy contests for these players. Might be a weekly thing, might be per game thing, might be a season long thing, and kind of similar to what our partner Monkey Knife Fight does. Who does better? Pick one, and you can win something.
Yeah.
So we're going to set up contests on our page, so be on the lookout for that as the season comes up.
Yeah, definitely.
There you go. Okay, cool. So, all right, Phil Rivers is in Indy. The question I have, though, is can his whole family live in the same house right now, because you can't have gatherings more than 10 people, and I think he has 14 children. Okay.
You had to go there with that. That was good. I like that. All right.
Jameis Winston still hanging out there.
Winston's
don't know
out.
where he's going to be. I was making a list of some teams that need quarterbacks. The Chargers we talked about. The Patriots need a quarterback. The Dolphins need a quarterback. Where's Winston going to go? I really haven't heard him rumored anywhere. I did hear the Patriots are not interested. That's the only thing I know so far on Winston.
Yeah. As far as the Patriots go, I mean, hey, could they be a player in the draft and try to draft up to... I honestly think Herbert would be a great move for New England. I do. I don't know what it is about Herbert, but I for some reason see him fitting into Bill Belichick's formula and what he's got going on. But as far as free agent quarterbacks that are left, Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
I mean, here's a guy that got that massive contract last year with Denver.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And Denver moving on from Case Keenum.
Yep.
What a shame. And let's segue into Case Keenum. Case Keenum goes from Denver to Washington to Cleveland. What are they doing in Cleveland that you would want to go after Case Keenum? Offer him a pretty decent contract.
Yeah.
Does the new coach and GM not have faith in Baker? And that's my question. Why are you going after Case Keenum, who I do believe Case Keenum has gotten a raw deal. He has...
Say it 10 times faster.
No. He has gotten a raw deal. I mean... He looked very good in Minnesota, and shame on Minnesota for ever getting rid of him.
Yep.
Because Kirk Cousins, as much as Kirk Cousins is an accurate passer, I mean, I believe he's one of the top 3 most accurate passers in the NFL, stat-wise.
Yeah.
You moved on from Case Keenum, who can ball. But to go to Denver and Denver not use him properly, and then Denver say, screw you, we're done, go to Joe Flacco. He goes to I mean, just the carousel.
Right,
I feel terrible for Keenum because I do believe Keenum in the right system could be a very, very good quarterback. And now he's going to be, a backup? At how much money? I mean,
You know
holy
what, though?
shit.
You know what,
I just
though?
don't know. I don't agree with that.
A backup to Baker Mayfield's probably not a bad idea. I mean, if you look at the starting quarterbacks, which starting quarterbacks are most likely to get pulled at some point during the season? He's on that list.
Yeah.
Right? So he's on that list. So maybe, it's better than backing up someone like Tom Brady, because unless Brady gets hurt, you're not
going to do
or
that.
Matt Ryan or Drew Brees
I guess it's interesting that to be honest, it's interesting that New England did not pursue Case Keenum a little bit more. Honestly, Case Keenum would have been a fantastic fit. He would have been a fantastic fit in that area, because what are they going to do? Are you going to go after Dalton? You're going to go after Flacco? You going to go after Winston? No, we already know they're not going to go after Winston.
Yeah.
So who are you going after? What are you going to do? You're going to bring in Josh McCown?
They're going to wait till the Bears cut Trubisky and go after Trubisky.
No way. No. No. You don't even want my insight on that one.
God. So New England drafts 23rd. Do they try to take somebody in the first round? I don't know. They need a quarterback though, so we don't know who that's going to be. Who's
you asked me who their backup is?
Yeah.
I have
somebody.
Not got a clue.
Sticking on the quarterback train, this is a quick one. We can move on from Ryan Tannehill, re-signed with the Titans. Kind of saw that coming with the second half he had, which really was enlarged to Derrick Henry's second half too. Tannehill was able to have some time to make some throws because people are trying to stop Henry.
Ooh,
Tannehill staying in Tennessee. Another quarterback, Teddy Bridgewater. We talked about him going to Carolina.
Yep. Come on. I'm waiting for it.
Let's go to you want one more quarterback?
Yeah, come on. I got
let's see. Do you have any other quarterbacks here
Marcus
that are free
Mariota.
Marcus Mariota goes to Vegas, baby.
Goes to the Raiders.
Vegas.
And you know what? This actually just made me start thinking. Is this where maybe New England takes a play at Derek Carr? Try to pull Derek Carr
might be available.
Out of the Raiders.
I heard Carr might be available.
And, I mean, I still am shocked. I am shocked at the Raiders going after Marcus Mariota. I mean, I think Mariota has proven in Tennessee that he's not that great of a quarterback. I don't think he can grasp the game and read the defenses very quickly, which I think is what hurts him. So... I mean, but granted, we said that about Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah.
And Ryan Tannehill obviously thrived in Tennessee.
Yep.
So could Marcus Mariota thrive in Vegas? I don't think so. But I think this opens the door for Derek Carr. And I think Derek Carr
could thrive in Vegas.
Be a very good asset. And now that my wheels are turning in my head, I got the little hamster. He's doing his thing up there. I think New England could make a play at Derek Carr. I really
interesting. That would be interesing.
It would be.
To see if they go for Derek Carr.
Somebody middle-aged in the NFL.
Somebody has a little experience under their belt makes sense. Other than that, free agent quarterbacks. I don't think there's any other major free agent signings.
No.
There was a quarterback trade for a quarterback. I don't know what the frick they were thinking. Out of all the quarterbacks that were rumored to be available and that were available, the last person that I was hoping that would land on the Chicago Bears roster would be Nick Foles. The Bears traded the fourth-round pick, which they pretty much just got handed to them for losing Mike Davis. It was a comp pick. I'm going to say comp for the fourth round that they gave away for Foles. Again, he was last on my list. Foles has been a career backup. He's not a starting quarterback. He got a huge contract in Jacksonville. He got hurt. Gardner Minshew came in and played well. Marone was forced to go back to Foles because of that large contract. He didn't do well, and Minshew won the job, and Foles got a ticket out of town out of Jacksonville, which is actually probably good for Foles because who the hell wants to be in Jacksonville? But really, Bears. So they wanted to bring in some competition for Trubisky. I was hoping they'd bring in a replacement for Trubisky. The Bears got fleeced by good old John Lynch and San Fran, and moving up a pick to pick him second overall, and he has not performed anywhere near like a number 2 overall pick, unless you want to compare him to Ryan Leaf. That's pretty shitty to do.
Man, but, you cannot. Oh boy.
Nick Foles has only started. So Nick Foles has been in the league for several years. He's only started, I want to say, 7 or 8 more games than Trubisky. He's only had a few more games than actually Trubisky's played because he's been a backup. Now, Nick Foles does have something that a lot of people don't have in this world, and that's a Super Bowl MVP trophy.
Mm-hmm.
He's
got a Super Bowl ring.
Yeah, and a Super Bowl ring.
He's got a Super Bowl ring.
A lot of people have those. Well, not a lot of people.
And guess who he beat in that Super Bowl?
Yeah, I know exactly who they beat in that Super Bowl. But he's not the guy I was hoping for. Cam Newton was available. Andy Dalton, I was lukewarm on. In fact, my list started at Foles down here, then Dalton up here, and then kind of everybody else was up here. There's a big gap in there. I don't know. On top of that, they signed an aging Jimmy Graham. Fucking A. Jimmy Graham looks like he's lost 7 steps in Green Bay. I would have been happy with the 25-year-old Eric Ebron, but he just signed with Pittsburgh for less money than the Bears signed Graham for. So, Bears, what are you doing? You're killing me, man. I'm repping
So
your hats,
just so I know,
your
I want to
team.
make sure we're doing this right.
What?
We're basically getting ready to close out free agency.
No,
you're going to go over your Bears picks. I'm going to go over my Bills picks.
No,
all right, is that where we're going?
No, not yet.
Come on.
We're just talking about QBs, and then we're moving on to some other free agents, and then we'll go on
Jimmy
that
Graham and shit.
All right, so I'll lay off Jimmy Graham and the Bears overall. But Nick Foles, I'm fucking completely disappointed in the Bears getting him. It does nothing for me. I don't think it helps make Mitch get better. We'll see what happens. But no, this is. I think this is going to be it for the Matt Nagy, Ryan Pace era this season in 2020 for the Bears. Any quarterback shit you want to add?
Yes, I do.
Fucker.
I personally look. This is on me. This is me personally. I like Nick Foles. I do. I liked him last year, and I believe during one of our shows,
you gonna take him on your fantasy team?
I had meant no, but again, would I take Mitch Trubisky on my fantasy team? No. So Nick Foles, I think, has gotten a raw deal, and I said this last year with the whole Gardner Minshew thing. Nick Foles got hurt. He got injured. He didn't get a chance to prove himself in Jacksonville. He didn't. Nick Foles is a very good quarterback. I think he is a halfway decent passer. Record shows, career-wise, what? He's been in the league 8 years? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. He's been in the league 8 years.
Yep.
62% completion percentage. He's got 71 touchdowns. 48 games that he's started. He's been in 58 games.
What's the most games he started in the season?
His record, the most games he started in a season started was 11. Okay. He's 26-22. Okay. We get into Mitch Trubisky, and we have what? Career, 41 games. Sure, he might have started, 15 last year, whatever. 23-18. Okay. He is completion percentage, I'll give him that. He's 63, right there with Nick Foles. 48 touchdowns. So what? He's not even 10 games less, but he's 30 touchdowns short of Nick Foles. Nick Foles is going to go deep. Nick Foles is going to get the ball in people's hands. We got 29 interceptions. Where's Nick Foles with interceptions? Career-wise...
Career-wise, they both suck.
Career-wise, look at 35, though, in 8 years. Mitch Trubisky's got 29 in 3.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah. I'm sorry. I personally think Nick Foles is going to be a great acquisition in Chicago. And whether or not, here's where I'm going with this. Okay, I think Nick Foles is a very good pocket passer. I think Nick Foles feeds into what Nagy's trying to accomplish.
Yep.
And are they bringing him in there to start? No. They're still moving forward with Mitch. That's what they're doing.
Ish.
Right. But they're bringing in Nick for Mitch to maybe learn something from, because I don't think Mitch has personally had the proper training, the proper mentor to teach him.
I don't think Mitch has a proper brain to be an NFL quarterback. He's only started.
I'm trying to not tear you apart.
No, tear it apart.
Really not.
Tear it apart.
I mean,
he can't read a defense to save his life. I mean, when he looks, every time he drops back, he looks like he's scared as shit unless his primary read's open. His primary read's not open, he shits his pants and doesn't know what the frick to do. I'm done with him. Foles, I don't think, is the replacement. Maybe a Band-Aid, but yeah, screw him.
You know what's Mitch's? Do you know Mitch Trubisky's?
I know his girlfriend's hot.
No, his nickname is Mr. Biscuit.
Mr. Biscuit.
Yeah, sorry. According to Pro Football Reference, Mitchell Trubisky's nickname is Mr. Biscuit, which I find very, very
Maybe
fucking
he should go
interesting.
play hockey.
You know, you honestly want my take on Mitch Trubisky, and I said it last year to start the season. I said the damn team was going to fail, was going to either win or lose on their quarterback, Mitch Trubisky, period. They had weapons around him.
Yep.
Allen Robinson was a very, very good weapon for him.
A-Rob got an extension, I believe, too.
I believe he did. You're right. I believe Trubisky.
I could use an extension.
Look, defensively, we all know the Bears have a good defense.
They do.
Could the defense do what they did the previous year? And we brought this up.
Got Robert Quinn now.
Could they do what they did the year prior and keep that offense to where they don't have to be so damn relevant? And they couldn't. They struggled this year. Khalil Mack struggled a little bit more this year. There were a lot of injuries put on the Bears defensively, which did not make them as good as they were the year prior. The only reason the Bears made the playoffs in 2018 was because of their defense. It was not because of Mitch Trubisky. The Bears, in my eyes, they stretched. They should have never, ever moved up in the draft to grab Mitchell Trubisky.
No, he would have been there.
I think that was the worst friggin' move
He would have been there.
I've ever seen a team honestly do. To only go up one extra spot to grab a Trubisky and we can all say, look, all of our teams can say this, but instead of grabbing a Patrick Mahomes or a Deshaun Watson,
I wanted Jamal Adams, to be honest.
For a Mitchell Trubisky.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I never have liked Mitchell Trubisky. I don't believe Mitchell Trubisky is the answer.
Nope.
I think of him as nothing more, and you're going to, boy, this is going to suck, as a J.P. Lossman from the Buffalo Bills when they made that pick in the top 10.
My dick just got soft.
I'm sorry, but that is Mitchell Trubisky.
Yeah.
And
it,
I tried to keep it nice. You said to go ahead. I did.
No.
I like Nick Foles. I think Nick. I don't know why.
If he could come in and be a game manager, that's what the Bears need. Is someone to be a game manager, right? Their defense should be decent again. They need a little help in the secondary. They lost 2 starters in the secondary, so they haven't done anything to replace that yet. They did pick up Robert Quinn, which would be a nice help. Take some pressure off of Mack, and assuming Hicks is healthy, they get a solid front 7. They really do. But their secondary is still suspect because they have 2 holes to replace, and quarterback. So and the offensive line too. Bears got a lot of holes. So. That's enough about the fucking Bears.
I still, honestly, I do like the extension with Danny Trevathan.
Yeah.
I think that was a very good extension. I do like him. I think he can be a very solid linebacker for you guys. And
again,
so
Trevathan and Hicks on the field, the Bears are a much different defense. Trevathan's a great captain out there, and Hicks is a freaking monster in the middle. He really is.
Yeah.
And if you got Quinn and Mack on the outside, We need some help in the secondary, though. You got Fuller, you got Jackson, they're both Pro Bowlers, but now we need another corner and safety to go along with those dudes.
Yeah.
So, and maybe that's where the Bears go in the draft. They in the second round, third round. They are looking at maybe tight end and secondary help. So, shut off. All right.
That wasn't.
No, the speaker just went silent because it hasn't been playing
Do
music
you
for a while.
realize we're hitting damn near the 2 hour?
We've been talking forever. Any other free agents we want to talk about? I mean, we talked about quarterbacks, which is the most important position.
Right.
There's a lot of running back movement. We talked about Gurley to the Falcons, Melvin Gordon in Denver. Those are the two biggest names. Derrick Henry was tagged by the Titans. Other running back news that's noteworthy is probably that's about.
I think it's noteworthy that Frank Gore's still out there. What team might want to pick him up?
Frank Gore, he might retire, or if he's going to stick around, I don't know.
He wants to stick around. He really wants to stick around, and I'm waiting to see which team is going to pick him up to groom another younger quarterback. I like what Buffalo did there. So
Kenyon Drake with the transition tag, so he's sticking around in Arizona. What else was I going to say about running backs?
I don't know, buddy.
Austin Eckler, he's sticking around in L.A. We talked about that already.
We did.
That's a big deal.
Melvin Gordon's huge in
Gordon,
Denver.
It's a great compliment to Philip Lindsay. You kind of have a thunder and lightning combination. Gordon's your between the tackles guys, where Lindsay's the guy who can catch the ball and try to spread the.
I think Denver took honestly.